With the eyeglass lenses from Verilux, you see near, far, and everything in between. Technologically, nothing else comes close.
We want freedom.
They want to see the way they were meant to see. Is that too much to ask?
Near, far, and in between, we want freedom.
With just one touch, he forever honors a performance.
I could have had class. I could have been a contender.
Spotlights an achievement.
Did you rehearse all this, or are you improvising?
Immortalizes a masterpiece.
My well came in so big.
Because everything he touches turns to gold. And we got his mark of excellence all week long. AMC's Everything Oscar. Coming up next. This AMC presentation is sponsored in part by Turning Leaf Wine, handcrafted for perfect moments.
The day has ended. Amber blends to twilight blue. The world softens a bit around the edges. You release all the cares of the day, and nothing else in the world matters. Bella Sera Pinot Grigio. It's going to be a beautiful evening. Or as they say in Italian, it's going to be a bella sera.
The 1951 Best Actor race was pretty tough, with the competitors including Marlon Brando in A Streetcar Named Desire and Montgomery Clift in A Place in the Sun. But Humphrey Bogart's change-of-pace comic performance as the hard-drinking, disheveled riverboat captain in The African Queen proved to be irresistible. And so the legendary actor who had previously been nominated for Casablanca received his one and only Oscar. Now, The African Queen, the classic tale of two completely mismatched people thrown together on a one-of-a-kind jungle adventure, also received Academy Award nominations for Katharine Hepburn, director John Huston, and Best Screenplay. Yes, it's that good. Here's The African Queen.
Yes, the French are in it, and all them little countries are forsaken place.
God has not forsaken this place, Mr. Allnutt, as my brother's present.
Stop! Bring me a nice hot cup of tea.
I'm here, brother, to see you.
I try so hard to notice study. Hebrew, Greek. I've got notice. There ain't nothing to torpedo.
How do you know? You've never tried.
Really upon him.
You mean you want to tell you something, them rappers?
Recognize these flowers, Mr.
AMC's Everything Oscar continues. But do you know Everything Oscar? Who has hosted more Academy Awards ceremonies than anyone else? The answer in just a moment on AMC's Everything Oscar. Not everything that glitters is gold, but Everything Oscar is. AMC's Everything Oscar. Watch one solid gold week of movies touched by Oscar and go hands-on with the AMC originals that showcase how Hollywood gets the Midas touch. It's everything glittery, everything gold. AMC's Everything Oscar. Continuing all week at 8 and all weekend long.
It starts by rejecting the notion of what is and embracing what will be.
Passing by.
The all-new Aerial from Suzuki. It has more features, more standard horsepower, and better acceleration than Honda Civic and Ford Focus.
Drive on.
You knew this was coming. You just didn't know from where. Introducing the new Suzuki Aerial.
Get up and go.
Lease a Suzuki Aerial S today for $199 per month with only $1849 to start.
This is a medicine. These are the cells in your body. Take most medicines, and they scatter throughout your body to every cell. But right now, America's pharmaceutical company researchers are creating new smart medicines. They can ignore healthy cells and go straight to the disease. to fight illnesses like leukemia, arthritis, and heart disease. Soon, there will be a lot more of these smart medicines. You can bank on it.
The day has ended. Amber blends to twilight blue. The world softens a bit around the edges. You release all the cares of the day, and nothing else in the world matters. Bella Sera Pinot Grigio. It's going to be a beautiful evening. Or as they say in Italian, it's going to be a bella sera.
You see a grueling commute. At Franklin Templeton, we saw a reason to invest in tax-free bonds for mass transit. Investing in our communities while helping shareholders keep more of what they earn requires a unique perspective, the kind that comes from having one of the largest research teams in the industry, and has made Franklin the nation's leading tax-free mutual fund manager. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
It's a good-looking pup, huh?
Yeah.
Let's have a listen. It's got to be the puppy chow.
Vets have been recommending Puppy Chow for years. There's no better way to get your puppy off to a healthy start. Purina Puppy Chow for a long, strong, and exceptional life. Incredible puppy food, incredible puppies. Purina Puppy Chow brand.
Chilly nights at the firehouse mean heartburn and gas. These don't have the medicine to relieve both, but Gas X with Maalox does, combining the heartburn relief of Maalox with the power of Gas X to beat the burn and the bloat fast.
There's so much beauty to drink in. Don't let your eyes feeling dry, gritty, irritated stop you from enjoying it. Your eyes deserve better. They deserve Refresh brand eye drops. They're what doctors recommend most. First Refresh relieves and soothes dry eyes, then forms a lasting shield of protection that keeps irritation out and natural moisture in. And since more doctors recommend Refresh, the choice is clear. Refresh for relief that's fast and protection that lasts.
Starting to feel a little cramped by your present surroundings? RE/MAX can help you find a new home while selling your current one to someone who'll find it absolutely perfect. If you're looking for outstanding results, look for RE/MAX.
Tonight, AMC's Everything Oscar continues. Oscar's touch made the cinematography and editing a cut above the rest for Oliver Stone's conspiracy thriller. Get the backstory on Backstory, JFK. And Oscar's golden mark can be seen all over Frank Capra's It Happened One Night, which took home 5 awards, including a Best Actor for Clark Gable and a Best Actress for Claudette Colbert. That's all tonight on AMC's Everything Oscar Festival. Did you know who hosted more Academy Awards ceremonies than anyone else? Master MC Bob Hope, with 18 award ceremonies under his belt, has hosted Oscar night more than anyone else, even more than Johnny Carson and Billy Crystal. Yes, even more than David Letterman. And now back to AMC's Everything Oscar.
Out there. Lack the stories to tell our grandchildren, will we? I know what you're thinking, Rosie. You're thinking of taking the Queen out at night when the Louisa comes back, ain't you, old girl? Well, we ought to manage it.
The prisoner has already learned the penalty for not answering.
And Thea, you'll... Well, see what I did? I took the heads off 2 cylinders of oxygen, and I filled them up with live explosive, about 200 weight. That was easy enough. It was the detonators that took some doing. And you know what I used?
Love that movie. That's one of my favorites. You know, Humphrey Bogart claimed to be completely cynical about the Academy Awards. He said that if he won, he wouldn't thank anyone in his acceptance speech. Instead, he would tell the audience he did it all himself. But you know, Bogey was an old softy at heart. And on Oscar night, he singled out Katharine Hepburn and director John Huston, saying no one does it alone. As in tennis, you need a good partner or opponent to bring out the best in you.
This AMC presentation is sponsored in part by Pharma, America's pharmaceutical companies. New medicines, new hope.
You may not know it, but each of us has over 100,000 different proteins. And most medicines target proteins. Create a medicine that targets the right protein, and you can stop a heart attack before it starts, even find a way to prevent cancer. Imagine what researchers could discover if they could understand the function of the more than 100,000 proteins in the human body. That's precisely what America's pharmaceutical company researchers are working on right now. They're taking dead aim.
Tonight, AMC's Everything Oscar continues. Oscar's touch made the cinematography and editing a cut above the rest for Oliver Stone's conspiracy thriller. Get the backstory on Backstory, JFK. And Oscar's golden mark can be seen all over Frank Capra's It Happened One Night, which took home 5 awards, including a Best Actor for Clark Gable and a Best Actress for Claudette Colbert. That's all tonight on AMC's Everything Oscar Festival. Not everything that glitters is gold, but everything Oscar is. AMC's Everything Oscar. Watch one solid gold week of movies touched by Oscar and go hands-on with the AMC originals that showcase how Hollywood gets the Midas touch. It's everything glittery, everything gold. AMC's Everything Oscar. Continuing all week at 8 and all weekend long. This AMC shortcut is being brought to you by the following.
Check it out.
Chrysler Town & Country.
You do that?
I saw you did. Let's get out of here.
With power sliding doors and liftgate with an obstacle detection system, it's the ultimate minivan. Exclusively from Chrysler, our 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain pledge, because love is a commitment.
Popcorn. It's America's favorite snack food. We consume 68 quarts of it per person per year, much of it sitting in a darkened movie theater.
When movies first opened, there was no popcorn or any concession stand in the theaters themselves.
Vendors set up stands right outside the theater doors.
And theater owners very quickly saw that there were a lot of people buying popcorn outside the theater and bringing it in.
Not to pass up a profit, concession stands rapidly popped up in theater lobbies. By 1945, half of the popcorn sold in America was sold in movie theaters.
Popcorn became so important to sales in theaters that the phrase around the industry was, you found a good location to sell popcorn and you built a theater around it.
Even today, with ticket prices sky high, your local multiplex would not be in business were it not for these little kernels.
Concessions are the one area of income to a theater owner where they do not have to share it with the distributor. So it means that whatever profit they're able to make on each individual sale of candy is actually their money.
And what about the cost of popcorn?
On average, I would say that for the large popcorn, you're talking about 10 cents worth of popcorn that's in that cup, and they're selling it to you for $4. There's always this tug of war between distributors and exhibitors about showtimes, because to a distributor, where they make their money off of the actual films, they want to squeeze in as many showtimes as they possibly can. To the exhibitor, what they want to do is have as long a time between shows as they possibly can so that they can sell more popcorn.
The truth is simple. Popcorn puffs up the profits.
They may come up with new flavors and, maybe genetically altered popcorn, but there's too strong a connection between audiences' perception of the movies and popcorn to ever separate them, and I can't ever see them moving on to something else. Popcorn makes you want to see movies. Movies make you want to eat popcorn.
Don't miss AMC's Behind the Screen every Sunday. Could Oliver Stone's obsession help solve one of history's greatest mysteries?
You become less an actor and more sort of investigator.
Find out on Backstory, JFK. The egos, the affairs, the power struggles. With everything that happens behind the scenes, how do movies ever get made? On AMC's original series, Backstory, get the real stories on your favorite movies from the people who were there. This week, get the backstory on JFK. Coming up next. A race of killer dinosaurs, a planet of evil aliens, and one really fat professor. See how effects artists take movies to the next level and take home Oscar gold.
Took tennis balls and nailed them to the top of foot-long stakes, and we built sort of a little grid on the ground.
On a special Academy Award edition of Cinema Secrets, Oscar-winning effects on Cinema Secrets, an all-new episode next Friday night at 10 Eastern, part of AMC's Everything Oscar.
He killed my father, he killed my brother, and both my sisters. Pancreatic cancer killed them all. We don't know how or why they got it, but we knew it, and it was already too late. There still isn't any way to detect it early or to treat it effectively. But we do know the cure, research. Just look how far we've come with other diseases.
This AMC shortcut is being brought to you by the following.
We always said when the kids leave home, we'll do things together.
How about golf?
How about antiquing?
Bowling might be good.
How about a nice dinner together?
You're on.
Stouffer's home-style entrees lets us enjoy those great family meals I used to make, like baked chicken breasts and creamy mashed potatoes. I just whip up a salad and let Stouffer's do the rest.
Dancing.
We're getting there.
Stouffer's, nothing comes closer to home.
Everyone knows
that Audrey Hepburn embodied grace and elegance on screen in classic films like Breakfast at Tiffany's, Sabrina, and My Fair Lady.
Many people know
that Audrey Hepburn dedicated much of her spare time to charity work and raised money and awareness for UNICEF until her death in 1993.
You may have heard
that Audrey Hepburn had a pet deer named Ip that she adopted after sharing screen time with it in the 1959 movie Green Mansions.
But it's a little-known fact
that Audrey Hepburn absolutely hated Danish. In fact, she could barely bring herself to eat one while filming her famous breakfast scene